we can put loads of good nutrition in our body, but how are we nourishing our body? What are our thoughts when we're eating food? What are our thoughts when we're making food? What are we actually putting in on a cellular level? Because we are more than our physical being. We are physical, mental, emotional and spiritual beings. And so when we look at our being and we go, I'm going to put in vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, that is only going to nourish us on a level. But actually, when we think about putting in love and gratitude and joy, how does that feel as opposed to, I'm going to put in vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, magnesium, B12? All those things are really important. We need to get our nutrients in, but we need to nourish our being, A, with the nutrients, and B, with the energetics. And so this is what I really want to dive into today. I think, as the energy changes, as the weather changes, as the energy of the earth starts to bubble up, we've got this amazing energy of renewal happening now all around us, because the earth is waking up. And what we forget is that we are part of this earth. And so as the earth wakes up, so do we. Anyone felt that over the last couple of weeks? This woo, I'm ready to go now. Yeah? I've definitely felt that resurgence, because the winter is about inward time. It's about reflection. It's about that stillness in our being. And it's about sitting in that. The life that we live nowadays is not designed for inner reflection, and there's a reason why. Because if we are reflecting inwardly, we look at what we're doing, we think, we connect with our soul. And Melissa will be talking about connecting with our soul and our Akashic records later. But when we have that time of reflection, we can ask our body, what do you need? We can listen to the birds and the trees, and we can connect with the vibration and the healing that is all around us. And we can find that alignment, the alignment of knowing who we are and where we belong. For me, I spent most of my life when I was young not fitting in and feeling really disconnected, really different from everyone else, and really unsure, because I didn't feel I had a solid base. Anyone ever felt that? It's like, I don't feel connected to society. What society is presenting me is not what I feel or know. It's the knowing. And so then you think, well, am I just totally crazy? Because I'm feeling so differently from everyone else. And actually, it was when my mum died that I started to really understand and learn. Because when my mum died, I was 21, I just turned 21 a month before. And suddenly that rock had gone. I had my dad, but one of those rocks had gone. And I had to find that somewhere else. And in a way, as is the way, our greatest gifts come from our biggest adversity. And so I had to find that mother's love somewhere else. And my mum was sick with multiple sclerosis from when I was 8. And so I started parenting her and looking after her and taking on that role of a carer from a very young age. So that needing mothering was in my being. I needed a mother. And the earth became my mother, because I realised that the unconditional love I could get from the earth was what was nourishing me and sustaining me. That was that connection. Oh, okay, I'm home. I feel secure. Because I don't feel secure with my friends. I don't feel secure with society. But actually, anyone found that? When you sit under a tree and you're like, oh, there we go, I feel aligned again. And that really made such a big difference in my life and really started the journey I'm on now. It started when I was little, when I was 6. I remember asking for a herb garden, and I'd plant garlic. It's the first thing I grew, which I think is quite garlic, and then rosemary and thyme. So, I was always into it in a different way. But when I lost my mum and I started to go, okay, how do I connect? How do I feel secure? And then when I got pregnant with my first child, that took me even deeper, because I was never really grounded. I was always kind of floating around life. I was dancing with the fairies most of the time. And friends would say, you literally don't look like you're touching the ground. I was literally floating, and had so much boundless energy and all these visions, and it was all amazing. And I got pregnant with my first child and was like, ooh, I'm in my body. And it was strange because I wasn't used to that experience. You know, I was quite an etheric fairy. And so coming into my body, I realised I'm in this body for a reason. I'm not here to be off in the astral planes flying around. Otherwise I wouldn't be here now. So that was that wake up of, come on Juliette, you've incarnated into this life, now be here. Be present. You got a mission, so get on with it. You can't do your mission from up there, do it. And so I was trying to work on grounding, trying. And it was hard, but when I got in touch with the medicinal mushrooms, this was when it made a massive difference for me. Because what I realised, so don't know if any of you have done it before, the grounding routine where you're a beautiful tree and your roots go into the earth and you kind of feel yourself locking into the earth and you're grounded and stable. And I did that and it was great, but it wasn't enough. I was still too far up here. But when I got into the mushrooms, suddenly the mycelium network, so underneath us, connected to everything, is what's known as the mycelium network. And the mycelium network is a beautiful white filament, a white network that connects everything. Every animal, every tree, every plant, every person is connected through the mycelium. And when I was younger and off doing my astral travelling and all my journeys, I used to see this network of light that connected everything. And when I learned about the mycelium network, I was like, oh, it's a real thing. It's not something intangible, it's actually the mushrooms. Oh my God, this is incredible. And so when I started, and we're going to do this in a little bit, but when I started to then put my consciousness, my roots down into the earth, through the tree, into the mycelium, suddenly instead of it being a limited, restrictive thing, it expanded and my consciousness could be everywhere. So instead of being locked into being a tree, I'm rooted in one place. Suddenly my consciousness expanded into every tree, into every plant, into every animal, every being. And that was the moment I really stepped into who I am. Because it wasn't limiting. And this is when I started to realise the importance of the nourishment of our being. For me, anchoring into the mycelium nourished me on a way that no food could ever do. Because I was reconnecting into my roots. Does that make sense to people? I'm seeing quite a lot of nods.
Yeah.
And I am going to talk about the physical nourishment because that is a really important part. But if we get our foundations right, then everything can flow so much better. There's a saying, you are what you eat. But that saying goes even further. You are what you absorb. And this is on so many levels. We are what we absorb from the people around us. We are what we absorb from the environment, from all the electromagnetic stuff around us. We are what we absorb from our gut health, how much nutrients we're actually absorbing. So we are these sponges that are absorbing all the time. We're pulling in, we're sensing, is this something I want to keep? Is this something I want to get rid of? Energetically and physically. And so we have to start to have some discernment. And for me, when I rooted into the mycelium, this was an amazing way to start to understand that discernment, those boundaries. It was something I never really understood, boundaries, were they? Ooh, sounds restrictive. I don't like something restricting me. But actually, when I connected into the mushrooms, I realised that boundaries don't have to be a negative thing. They're actually a really important thing. This is my space. But my space can interact with all of your spaces. But when I need to pull back, this is my space and it's clear and it's defined. And this is who I am. And I can root anything that I don't want that's no longer serving me into the earth, into the mushrooms. Very interesting working with people with the medicinal mushrooms. And one of the things that I've observed is that on an energetic level, they protect us. So what does that mean? Well, what I found from my observations, this is just my observations, is that when people, probably most of the people in this room, are very open to everything going on around them, it's all these channels of information coming in, we're processing on so many layers all the time. And so all this information is pouring into our being and we're trying to make sense of it all. And we're pulling in your information and your information and your information and the information of the earth and of this building and of the food we're eating and all of these other things. The mushrooms come in and help us filter that, so that actually we're only taking in the bits that we need to. And that has been such a profound thing when I've been working with clients who are very, very open and sensitive, that it can just help protect you, put those boundaries in so that we understand where we're at a little bit better. So looking at this line of we are what we absorb, rooting into the earth can help protect us because we can filter out what we don't need. But actually looking at our gut is a really important part of it. They say the gut is the second brain. I think it's more like the first brain, actually. I think it's such an important space because in this space here, if you look at Chinese medicine and if you look at Indian medicine, the Ayurvedic things, this is the center of our power. This is, in Chinese medicine, this is our chi, our life force is down here in our dantian. And so that's the gut, isn't it? It's our sexual energy, it's our passion, it's our creativity, it's where we're storing most of our being. It's not up here in our mind, is it? And actually, as we're eating food, as food's going in, our gut is the first line of defense in our body as well. So when food goes into your mouth, it goes down through into your digestive system. It's in your gut. And the gut is filtering everything that comes into your body. As soon as it enters, touches your lips, the gut is working. So it's filtering before it reaches the insides of your insides. The gut's like the outside of your inside. Does that make sense?
No.
So as everything's going in, the gut is the protection from the organs and the other parts of your body. It's like the outside of your inside. It's the only way I can describe it. So it's the protection for your body. And so it's that filtration system. It's assessing whether things are right or they're not right. And so the gut, as I said, is absorbing information all the time, and it's sending signals all the time to our brain, to our heart, through our body. And one of the things that I was thinking about as I was driving here, I was talking to myself, as I do when I'm going to do a talk. I was kind of running through what I wanted to talk about. And one of the things that really came up in my mind, in my being, was this need to be conscious about what we are putting into our body, not just on a physical level, but on all levels. So physically, what are we eating? What are we drinking? What water are we drinking? How clean is it? What pesticides are being put into our body? I've recently done a few shows for the KindaSound radio, and I was talking to someone from Sunshine and Green about organic growing, and then I did another show on electroculture, which is really interesting. Do check them out, absolutely fascinating episodes. And when I was talking to the guy about electroculture, it was fascinating. It's all about harnessing the earth energy and the cosmic energy. And as he was talking, I thought, this is what I do every day. I sit, and my routine for my day is I start, well, first of all, I start and I connect into my body. What do you need? What one thing can I do for you today, body? And then I connect into my heart. What one thing can I do to live in a more heart-centered space? And then I connect into my gratitude. What am I grateful for? And then I get up and I get children up and do all that kind of stuff. And then I go outside and I stand barefoot on the earth and I feel the earth beneath me and I connect into the earth underneath me. And I breathe up that energy of the earth through my body and I connect up into the cosmos. And I feel that cosmic energy and I pull that through me. And I do this a few times and I allow that to settle in my heart. And we're going to do this shortly when we have our little mushroom ceremony. So we're sitting in our heart space, but we're connected to those sources of energy underneath us and above us. So we're being nourished instantly. We're absorbing instantly the cosmic rays, which is intuition, divine knowledge, that beautiful divine masculine. We're absorbing the nourishment, the nurturing, the unconditional love of the earth. So we're sitting in that beautiful divine feminine space. And we're creating divine union, meeting in the space of the heart. So that then what we can radiate out through our day is divine union. Yeah. We may detour off it, because that's life, isn't it? We're not always going to be in that beautiful aligned space. Something happens and it's like, whoa. But the aim is the more we do it, the more we can come back. And so those moves off are less. We're being held. We're being nourished. A bit like we're in the egg, you know? We're in this alignment in that divine union with ourselves and all of this cosmic energy around us. And then what we put in, those choices we make, come from a different place. Have you ever been really busy, really stressed, you're running around, you're like, I'm hungry, I need food, and you just grab something, and then you're eating it as you go. There's no consciousness about it, there's no thought. Yes, it's serving a purpose because maybe it's going to keep you going. Maybe you're doing a drive and you've got to get there and you have something and it's going to keep you going. It's going to keep you alive.
Yeah.
But it's not going to help you thrive.
No.
It's not going to help you align into that deeper connection of who you are.
No.
But when you're in this space, flowing through you, it's like, what conscious choice do I want to make about what I want to eat? And you can feel it in your cells. I could just, for that 10 seconds there, I can feel my whole body resonating to a different frequency. It's alive, and what it wants is living food. It wants fresh things from outside, and now is an amazing time for that because there's incredible fresh things all around. And the lunch, the salad, I made the salad and the raw chocolate brownies, and the salad has got so many things in from our garden. It's got ditanda, which is pepper grass, which I'll pass around later, which is amazing. And it's not got nettles in it. It's got that wouldn't be too nice to eat them in a salad. I have to pause.
Okay.
Because otherwise, what happens is in all the pictures I'm like,
Turn around, give us a smile. We go. No, actually, we need a bit more hand movement from the audience. Okay, like it's really good. Wave your hands. There we go.
What do you mean, like it's really good? Charming. I can't remember what I was saying then. Oh yeah, garden. Nettles aren't in the salad, but we've got mint in the salad. There's ditanda, which is pepper grass. There's chickweed in the salad. There's loads of things from the garden because now is an amazing time of year. I love it. All this stuff coming up in the garden. I'm like, oh yay! And it's stuff that I haven't had. I planted once. It just keeps coming back, and it's actually taking over our garden. Ditanda is all over the place. Mugwort all over the place. Mint all over the place. But what's brilliant about that is it means there's loads of it for me to use. That is what is so magical about growing things and about nature, is it gives us so much vitality, so much nutrients. Just want to show you these amazing nettles here. They're vibers, they really are. You definitely don't want to be stung by them. Well, you might want to be stung by them. Let's see if I can do this. Let's get this lovely bit here. Look at that. Can you see the life force emanating out of that? That bright green, once Giles is out the way. Look at that. It's vibey, isn't it? It's vibrant. You see that and it makes you go, oh, that's exciting. Does that make you feel excited?
Yes, Juliette, yeah. Getting stun's really exciting.
To me, that's really exciting because that is filled with nutrients. That's filled with so much goodness in it. But also, what do nettles bring to you? They don't just bring you the nutrients in there. Young nettles, if you get stung by a young nettle, it's pokey. You'll know about it. You'll feel a buzz in your being. Your fingers will be buzzing. You'll feel that movement of energy. And so one of the things that's always so important, I think this is such an important thing to share, is when we want to work with nature and we're like, oh, I'm scared. Oh, I don't know what to do. Anyone felt that before? About foraging, about using anything from nature? Yeah? I don't know what to do. What if I do something wrong? Well, first of all, when we're working with, let's say, nettles, you can't misidentify a stinging nettle because if you touch it, it will sting you. It's only one stinging nettle, so it's very easy. But you don't have to consume it. So as Kerry was talking about earlier, everything is vibration. Everything. And so what's amazing is if you want to work with the nettle, you can sit with it. And you can touch it. And you can feel it. And you can just be in its energy, like I'm in your energy and your energy. We can feel each other, can't we?
Yeah.
We can feel the plants.
Yeah.
But also with the nettles, one of the things to think about is, and it's a very simple thing, so think about nettles. What do they bring to your mind when you think about them? Shout it out.
Buzz.
Green.
Buzz.
Green.
Green.
Resilience.
Resilience.
Iron.
Iron.
Strong.
Strong.
Spring.
Spring.
Boundaries.
Boundaries. Yeah.
Powerful.
Powerful. Brilliant words. Okay, so we think that's the nettle's character. So if we want those characteristics, if we want resilience, if we want boundaries, if we want strength, what plant are we going to go to? Nettle. So this is how we can start thinking about anything. You could grab any plant, any animal, anything, and go, what do I think about? What do I feel when I think about that? Well, that's what's going to bring into your being. And this is what is such an important thing. I'm going to pass around 2 things right now, which you can have before the mushroom ceremony. You can either have the CBD mushroom and cacao, a couple of drops on your hand and you can lick those, or you can have the mushroom tincture, 5 drops under your tongue. Either or. So if you take a few drops, pass them round, and then shortly we're going to do a little mushroom ceremony with those things. So one of the things that's made such a difference in my life are the mushrooms. Huh?
People do it on the hand, just for hygiene.
Yeah, if you do it on your hand and then lick it off your hand, that would be the best bet. So for me, mushrooms have been a game changer. When I was a teenager, I played around with the psychedelic mushrooms, and I remember the first psychedelic trip I took with mushrooms, and I was driving. Maybe shouldn't have been driving. 16-year-old, not that responsible in Florida. And I was seeing rainbows everywhere, and I was like, wow, this is cosmic. Yeah, I know, I shouldn't have been driving.
You shouldn't have said that, Juliette. The police are here.
It wasn't in this country, it was in a different country, and it was a long time ago.
That makes it all right.
I'm not advocating driving on any psychedelics, or the use of any psychedelics at all either. But I remember I then stopped driving and was somewhere in nature, and I remember feeling this deep connection, and it was that thing that I'm talking about, that feeling rooted and anchored. And now the studies on the psychoactive mushrooms are so profound that it's incredible, the research coming out about psilocybin and about fly agaric mushrooms as well. And if you're interested in knowing more, my book 7 Magical Mushrooms goes into the history, the folklore, the science, the healing of these mushrooms. So it's a really lovely book to read. Very easy to read, great pictures as well, and amazing photographs in there. So really good book. Recipes on how to use the things as well. So I've had a lot of experience working with people for years, and mushrooms have been part of my clinical practice for over 15 years. I've been using medicinal mushrooms and seen such profound results. Phenomenal what they can do, how they can transform our lives. And what I really feel is so important, and this is such an important thing to be aware of, is that there are different things that come into awareness at different times. So a few years ago, blueberries were there, antioxidant, energizing our being. And then it was cacao. Cacao is chocolate, raw chocolate, and cacao opens our heart and connects us into that love that we are. Then it was CBD, and cannabis. The cannabis plant roots us. It works on the foundations of our house. It supports the endocannabinoid system. And if you're interested in knowing more about the endocannabinoid system, if you put your details on my mailing list, I've got an hour-and-a-half talk just about that. But the endocannabinoid system is the foundation of our being. Its role is to bring balance to every bodily system within us. Super, super important. And most illnesses are endocannabinoid deficiencies. This is what they're finding out. It's this instability in the foundation of our house because we're not working with cannabinoids, natural cannabinoids. Our body's not producing enough because we're not having enough fat in our diet. Many, many different factors that are affecting this. So cannabis, CBD, came into the consciousness to bring about that balance. So we've got our body filled with antioxidants, we've got our heart open and filled with love, we've got our foundations really being worked on. And now what's in the awareness? It's mushrooms. Why? Because we need to remember one thing. It's the most important thing of anything, that we're all connected.
Yes.
That we're all connected to this earth and to each other. We're not separate. So what happens to you happens to me. What happens to those trees happens to me.
Yes.
What happens to the animals happens to me.
Yes.
We need to start remembering this, and just thinking about it, really makes me well up. Because we've become programmed to be separate. And it's not where we're meant to be.
No.
And it's I feel that the mushrooms are here to change that. They're here to remind us that we're all one. We're all one big, beautiful family.
Yeah. Come on. We're one family.
I don't know about you, but when I look at people, and you look at people in the eyes, there's so many beautiful beings here. I look at all of you and I feel that amazingness that you all are. I feel the beauty of all of you shining. Because you're all like this. You're all like the trees and the plants and my best friends out in nature. You know, we went for a walk and we were seeing the flowers, the blossom emerging, and seeing the elder tree leaves coming out and unfolding, and it's just such a magical thing. It gets me so excited seeing nature waking up. It's like, yay! Because it's us, we're waking up. And at the moment, what's happening on the earth is the frequency of the earth is changing. Can anyone feel that speeding up?
Yeah.
The earth is awakening, and in this awakening, it's waking us up to who we are. That's what's going on. So we've got this divine feminine energy that's rising, that's roaring, that's saying enough. You need to remember why you're here. Now is this time to remember and to come into your alignment. And so for me, a big part of that is not just the spiritual work, but going, okay, I need to support my body. Because if I want to follow my soul's purpose, if I want to have the energy and the drive, what I put into this body is of the most importance. Because if I'm living a life on food that's not got nutrients in it, how is this body going to thrive? How is my soul going to be able to really deliver the message it needs to deliver? How am I going to be able to do all these different things, create all these vibing products? Which is my favourite thing in the entire world, is making alchemy. Potions, exactly.
You said it was time with me.
That too. That's alchemy as well, sweetheart. That's another kind of alchemy.
Right.
That alchemy is just as important. All of it is about alchemy. That's what life is about. It's the alchemy of energies. It's about taking the energies of the earth and combining them with ours, working with it and creating something bigger than just the sum of me. Taking different plants that want to work together and combining them to create something bigger than just the sum of those one things. When we work together, we are so much greater. Like today.
Yeah.
You know, if I was just up here talking all day, it might be a great day. In fact, there is a day of me here talking all day on the 21st of May, so if you want to book on that, then that's going to be really vibing. But because we're all doing this together, there's this shared energy which creates a pulse.
Woo. Yeah.
And this is what the earth is calling for now. This pulse is rising and it's saying we need to come together, to work together, to share our energy, to grow. How long do I have left? I'm the timekeeper, so I'm timekeeping myself. It's not so easy when you don't have someone holding up the thing for you. So, when we're looking at what can we do to actually nourish our being so that we can be this vibrant being we want to be, what can we do? Well, first of all, we need to be hydrated. Giles touched on this earlier. We need to drink good, clean water, ideally spring water, that's run down the mountains, that's collected that magnetic charge, that's filled with minerals, that's alive. And I started talking about this before, this living food. We need to have things with life force. If we're eating things wrapped in plastic, devoid of nutrients, and this is what most people are doing, they're eating food that is anti-nutrients. Has anyone heard that term before, anti-nutrients? A few yes, a few no. So let's say you've got sugar. You've got a lovely sugar cane plant here. Now sugar cane is amazing. Sugar cane has 32 minerals, it's filled with electrolytes, it's a really nourishing thing, but what we do is we strip that down and we take all of that goodness out of it and we strip it down so it's white sugar that we've got left. And we may have the molasses, so we've got it in separate forms, but most people aren't having it with the other bits. So when we eat that white sugar, our body goes, I need 32 minerals, nutrients, to process this sugar. It's not there. So where does it get it?
Steals it.
From you. So it's going, oh, she's got some magnesium, she's got some calcium. I'm going to take all that because I need to process this stuff. So it's ripping those nutrients from your body. So most people are eating a diet, hopefully not people here, that's filled with these anti-nutrients, but they're not nourishing their body. So when we eat food that is whole food, that is fresh food from the earth, this is the most important thing. Even if we can't grow lots of food, you know, not everyone has space to, but we can do sprouting. Anyone here done sprouting before?
Yeah.
So sprouting is amazing. You get a little glass jar, put some seeds in, so alfalfa seeds, broccoli seeds, you can sprout quinoa, lots of different things you can sprout. You soak them in water overnight, then you strain them, and every day you rinse them twice and they start to grow. It's beautiful watching sprouts grow. So you've got the lovely little green shoots and you've got the little tail of the roots coming, and what happens is it's activated. So you're activating that food, and then you're eating food that is activated, that's living. So you're putting that life force in you. So we have electromagnetic fields, and we've got people out there doing aura photographs. We have these electromagnetic fields. It's proved by science. We are electromagnetic beings. The way we recharge our electromagnetic being is by being on the earth barefoot. It's how we recharge. Most of us aren't doing that first thing. The other way is by putting in things that have an electromagnetic charge, and you can see it through Chilean photography. It's a brilliant book, I can't remember what it's called, and it's got photographs, Chilean photography, of lots and lots of different fruits and vegetables, organic and non-organic, and this was the bit that really interested me. You had the non-organic cabbage and then the organic cabbage. Now the non-organic cabbage still had a vibe, still had a nice glow, but the organic one was like, because it wasn't being diluted by chemicals which were deactivating it. Now sometimes we can't get organic food, you know, we can bless our food with anything we're eating. You know, that power of our intention, which Giles was talking about, which Kerry was talking about, which Dean, you know, we've all been talking about, it's power of intention. We can bless our food. We can put those good vibes in. It doesn't have to be a religious blessing, but just putting in that gratitude, those good intentions. Thank you. Thank you, Earth, for providing me this food, even if it's filled with anti-nutrients. It's food. Yeah. It's still sustaining us on a level. And it's all a choice, isn't it? What level do we want to sustain ourselves at? Sometimes it has to be the basic, because it's survival mode. We've all been there, and we will all be there at some points in survival, and that's fine. But actually, how do we thrive? We put in that life force into our being. My body is filled with superfoods. From the morning to the evening, I have the All You Need, which is a superfood mix I created, which has got super greens, medicinal mushrooms. You all had it this morning with your little shot. I have my Supercharge in the morning, hot drink. I don't drink caffeine, so I have that to charge me up. I have my medicinal mushrooms. And we eat organic food as much as we can. We eat food from the garden, foraged food, and there's always stuff you can forage all year round. May only be a little bit, but you only need a little bit to bring that life force back, and it's almost like a reminder. It's like, have you been in a room with someone and they're like, they're vibing, they're like really energetic and buzzed up, and you're a bit like, and suddenly you start to wake up, you feel your cells activating, you're like, oh, I feel a little bit of a charge. And you're feeding off their energy. So suddenly, you being down here, you're up here now because you've been activated by them. Well, even if you have that little bit of life force on your food, it's activating the life force that's in there that's dormant. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh yeah, so back there, so I'm a trustee of a charity called the Vegan Organic Network, and something that's very close to my heart. And the Vegan Organic Network are all about clean water, clean air, and healthy soil. Now, I think we can all say, regardless of what we think about everything else, we all want clean water, clean air, and healthy soil. Everyone agree? Yeah. So that's what they're about. So they've got a map. So if you're growing without animal inputs, and you want to, and in this organic way, without pesticides, fertilizers, all that stuff, you could put yourself on the map. And even if you don't grow like that, but you're a supporter of that and you want to connect with other people who do, you can put yourself on this map. Now, one of the things for me about this was we were using manure, and I thought manure is great, it's free, it's amazing, it's natural, like why would you not use manure to support your soil? And then I found out about the worming pills as one part, and more recently I found out about something else, which is all in my interview I did with Sunshine and Green, and it's about a herbicide that's sprayed on hay crops, that the horses then eat, that goes into their manure, that then goes to places and will kill broadleaf species. So this organic farm nearly lost 90% of his crop because he was using manure which he thought was organic, and it wasn't. And so this is a really big issue. So for me, the thing is, well, let's not use animal input.
Yeah.
Other than natural animals, you know, there might be deers or, you know, whatever going around that naturally just dropping their poo. Great. I'm not resistant to that, that's nature, but not bringing in stuff into the system. So making our own fertilizers for the soil with nettles and comfrey, things that are in that system. And that for me is such an important thing, because the worming pills that these animals all take kill the worms in the soil. Yeah. So this is a really important thing. There's a movement, not just the vegan organic, but it's also known as stock free. And there's a farm called Tolhurst Organic, which is really pioneering this stock free growing and showing that we can do it. And this is where things like the electroculture then come in, because then we're harnessing the earth energy and the cosmic energy so that those yields can increase, because we're actually working like the biodynamics. We're working with the cycles of the sun and the moon and the earth to charge up the land and charge up our food so we can be fully charged. But listen to those radio shows for more of that. I could literally talk all day, but we're going to do a little mushroom journey now. And I invite you on your next breath to imagine your breath coming from the center of the earth. Pulling that breath up through your spine, along your spine, all the way up through the top of your head, and connecting into that cosmic energy. And as you exhale, breathing down that cosmic energy through your body, through every cell in your body, deep into the center of the earth. Breathing up the energy of the earth, the loving nourishment, the unconditional love, breathing that all the way up through your spine, through every cell in your body, up into the cosmos. Holding it in the cosmos, connecting into that intuition and divine wisdom. And then breathing down into the earth. Feeling that stability underneath you, feeling that inspiration above you, and feeling yourself held in the center of that. Feeling everything else dropping away as you feel that holding. I invite you now to take your awareness down into the earth, into the beautiful soft brown earth underneath you. And as your awareness moves into the earth, it moves into the beautiful white filament of the mycelium network. You allow your consciousness to expand down into the earth, moving through the beautiful mycelium network into all the trees and the plants. You feel your awareness expanding into the earth, through the mushrooms, the beautiful mushrooms as the conduit for all connection. And the mushrooms guide you deeper into the earth, moving down through the layers of the warm, dark earth, moving down, 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 into a beautiful cavern. And in this cavern are the healing waters of the earth. There's a stream of sunlight coming down from the very top, a beautiful beam of light. All around you, on the walls of the cavern, are crystals and lichens and mushrooms. And you feel yourself held in this beautiful space. But just opening yourself up to meeting the spirit of the mushroom that is here to guide you right now. And this mushroom has a gift for you. A gift for your awakening. It may be a word, or a feeling, or something physical that it gives you. And it invites you to welcome it in. This mushroom is here to remind you that you are a beautiful being, a powerful being, a divine being, that you are part of nature, that you are part of this divine creation, and you are always held. You are always loved. And the earth sees you for the magnificence that you are. And it invites you to welcome that in. Breathing those words deeply into your being. They may feel uncomfortable, they may feel hard, but it's important for you to remember how wonderful you are. And the mushroom reminds you, you are never alone. You are always connected and supported. The mushrooms invite you to remember that if you need any help, all you have to do is ask. They are there for you in every moment. And just holding that feeling of support, of love, of connection in you. Like a beautiful warm embrace. And giving thanks to the beautiful mushroom and all of the mushrooms. Giving thanks to Mother Earth and all of the elements that are always holding you. And slowly, knowing you can come back to this space whenever you choose, bringing that awareness back up through the earth, back up through the beautiful soft earth, up, 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 through the trees, through the plants, feeling that connection, bringing it into your body, into your breath, breathing deeply into your body, and releasing. Feeling all of your awareness coming back to this space, and feeling that beautiful connection for the people next to you and around you. And when you feel ready, opening your eyes and just taking a moment to look at everyone here and look at the beauty and the majesty of each and every one of you.